If you miss a meeting, are you supposed to call the leader, whoever it is, let them know? Yeah, you're supposed to let them know. And when you don't let them know, you know what it shows? It shows that you think this work is worthless. There are no consequences for not taking this seriously. You would never do that with your job. You know why? Because there are consequences when you don't take it seriously. But you figure this is Allah's work. It's voluntary. There's no oversight. But you see, the only time we will get the volunteer work right is when we understand that the oversight is from who? It's from Allah. When you lose sight of that, then this is just voluntary and it's no big deal. It only remains a big deal so long as we remain in touch with the word of Allah. One of the very important things in our meetings is powerful reminder. We need a reminder of why we are there. We need a reminder of why we're volunteering, why we're working in this organization, why we're helping out, why are we spending time at the school or at the masjid or at the MSA or whatever else. Why are we doing it? We need that reminder. We need it. Because when we don't get that reminder constantly, our intentions, our motives, our psyche, it changes. It starts deforming. So we need to be refreshed constantly. Now the thing I wanted to share with you is really beautiful. How much time do I have left, by the way? I have 5 minutes? Okay. Here's this almost riddle in the Quran. In Surah At-Tawbah, Allah Azza wa Jal says, إِنَّمَا يَسْتَأْذِنُكَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. Those who ask your permission don't believe in Allah and the last day. Listen again. Those who are asking your permission don't believe in Allah and the last day. Now again, we find Surah An-Nur. Allah Azza wa Jal says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَأْذِنُونَكَ أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. Those who ask your permission, they're the ones who believe in Allah and the last day. In Surah At-Tawbah, He said, those who are asking your permission, believe or don't believe? Don't believe. In Surah An-Nur, He said, those who ask your permission are the ones who believe. A riddle. You see, understand from a leader's point of view, and this is the last thing I'll talk about, from a leader's point of view. If you're a good leader, then you understand people. You know how to measure people. If you're a good leader, you will never give your follower an assignment that you know they're not going to do. You will only give them what you know they will do. You know why? Because they're volunteers. And if they're volunteers, if you give them you don't even need the assignment. You just, hey, by the way, brother, just write the letter A on this piece of paper. Sure, he writes letter A. Great job. You let them know that they did a good job. You know what this does? It builds encouragement. So that in the future, this volunteer will be doing more. But if you overpower a volunteer and you give them more than you know they can handle, they can't handle that much. You haven't tested them yet, right? What happens to their enthusiasm? It disappears. Similarly, there are workers and there are slackers in every organization. This is a fact. There are workers in Islamic organizations and also there are slackers. A good leader, person speaking, will not call anyone a worker or a slacker, but he will know the worker from the slacker. Now the slacker comes in the time of emergency. So the tawbah is a time of emergency. The slacker comes and says, I can't go to Tabuk. Too many beautiful women on the path. I'll fall into fitna, therefore I can't go for jihad fi sabilillah. He gives an excuse. The messenger says, go. You're excused. Allah lets him know those who asked your permission did not believe. The people who shy away at the time of emergency, they were not really with you. They were not really with you. But under normal circumstances, not emergency situations, which is Surah An-Nur, normal circumstance. Under normal circumstances, the only people who ask permission are people who care. If you're a slacker, you'll skip the work and you won't even make any calls. You won't care. But if you care about the work, at least you will do what? Ask permission. So the two comparisons are one of a normal situation where we should ask permission, and an emergency situation where you shouldn't be asking permission, you should be doing the work because it's an emergency. Everything else should be put aside. If you come up with excuses at the time of emergency, then you're a troublemaker. then you don't really believe in this project. Finally, inshallah ta'ala, for a leader, one of the great wisdoms in not asking too much from the hard worker, and please understand this is very important, okay? If you work at a store, you do all the hard work, and you have a coworker, he doesn't do anything. He's a useless guy. New Year's came. Is extra sales season, right? You have to do less work or more work at that time? You have to do more work. The boss comes, the slacker, he goes to the boss, he says, boss, can I have 4 days off? Boss says, go, enjoy. You go and you say, man, I want to spend time with my family too. You go and say, can I have 4 days off? What does the boss say? No, you got to stay. Now you're thinking, man, the boss didn't give me, I do all this work and he didn't give me day off. And this slacker does nothing, and on top of that he gets to enjoy what?